Hi ladies, this is Carla. I wanted to do an update before you start watching this video. When I got finished with all of it, it was way too long to put on one video for you to sit through, so I thought I would try to break it up. And as I went back and I was looking at the frames of what I had done, for some reason, it's like the first 30 minutes of my video, the pictures turned out vertical rather than horizontal. And it must be the angle I had my camera, because I remember when it used to do that, but I didn't have it any different for this than I did the rest of it. So I don't know what happened. So if you can bear with me through about the first 30 minutes, and then we're going to cut it off and do part 2. So what you're getting ready to see is part 1. Thank you. Hello everyone, this is Carla. I'm glad you stopped in today. Today I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before, and I'm really excited about it. I was inspired by a video tutorial by the Painted Sisters, and they use some IOD molds to make a book stack. So I'm going to attempt to do that. So what I'm going to need for this project are a few little things here. And I got these books at the Dollar Tree. I had a hard time finding like 3 books the same size that are hardback. And she used hardback for these. And I understand why, because of the molds going on there. You don't want it to be wiggly and wobbly on there. So I've got 3 hardback books from the Dollar Tree. I've got a couple little paint brushes here. I've got some, this is folk art chalk paint, and it's called sheepskin. I've never used this before, and I'm hoping the color's going to be good. I was looking for kind of an off-white ivory, so I think that'll do. And I might mix some of this in. This is the Waverly chalk paint, and this is called Cashew. I've used this before, and it has almost more yellow in it that I would want for this project. So I'm not sure if I may dry brush with it or may not use it at all. We'll just see how the project moves along. Then you will need some molds. I'm using the IOD molds. These are called Trimmings 1. And I'm not sure which border I'm going to use yet, but I do have that ready to go. And then I pulled this out. I'm not sure if I'll use it, but it does have some bells on it. This was new this year. It's called Jingle. And it does have some of these little bells on it, and I may use them, I may not. Not totally sure about that one either. And then I looked through my IOD transfers, but everything that I would think about using would be too large for these books of what I have left. So I pulled this from Prima, and this is what I'm thinking about going with on the top. The candy canes, the pine cone, and here are some little bells. That's why I was thinking I might use some of the molded bells from IOD, but we'll just see how it goes. I'm kind of one of those, you know, fly by the seat of your pants. You just start getting in there, and if you like it, you use it. If you don't, you try something else. So that's why I said we'll just see how it goes. In fact, this video may be in 2 parts, because I'm just not sure how fast this is going to go. So we'll just take it as it comes. Now for the IOD molds, you will need cornstarch and a little brush to brush your molds with so they won't stick. You will need some kind of an air dry clay. I'm using the IOD air dry clay because that's what I have. That's what I'd purchased. And I'm thinking about, and probably will, on the borders on the spine of the book, where I'm going to put the little trimmings borders, I'm going to use some dark wax, and this is DIY dark wax that I got from Jamie Ray Vintage, and I need to go on there because I'm needing another order of some different paint. But anyway, I got that there. Then you're going to need like a wax brush. I used this one. It was black to begin with, but I used this one for my black dry wax. So let's start by just taking these covers off. You don't need those. I'm just so excited about this. I just kind of love this IOD thing. I just noticed that, well, only 2 of them. I thought maybe that was a sign. 2 of these books that are the same have a little black dot on there, and I thought that maybe that was the way to mark them. They were ready to go to the Dollar Tree or something, but I don't know. I kind of like the colors of these. I like this color really well, but I'm going to paint them, and let's get started with that. I'm going to just start, it doesn't matter, they're all the same size. I'm going to use my sheepskin chalk paint, and I'll paint one of these, and then I'll probably go off and paint the other 2, so we don't have to sit here while we paint all the things. We'll just figure out how to do it. Let's see. I'm going to use this, it's a 2-inch kind of a slant brush. It just works really well, and it's easy to hold on to. It may have a more proper name than that, but I don't know what it would be called. I'm going to pour out some of my paint, and I'm just going to start by doing this top side first. Oh, I do like that color, so I may not need that other color. We'll see how it goes. And with chalk paint, it's very thick, and if you ever want to water it down just a little bit, you just add a little water at a time. And because it's so thick, many times you only need to put 1 coat. But since this has a dark under color, it may take 2 coats, and that's fine. Another thing with chalk paint, when you're putting on the second coat especially, you don't want to keep working it, or it will pull the paint up. So I just want those kind of even, and we'll go and do the edges better, and I'm going to go ahead and do the side. We'll do the edges better when it all dries, because we'll want to do the inside of those as well. So I'm going to put this on. Now on the tutorial they did not paint first, but I'm going to go ahead and paint first, I think. Now I'm going to lay that there, and I'm just going to lay this book on top of some things over here so the top can dry. And start on this one. I'll paint these, and then I'll come back and show you what we do next. Okay, I've got that mashed in there really well. And so I've got, in fact, when I kind of tipped it over to get some of that little extra clay bits in the trash can, it wanted to release. So I'm excited about that. Now, I have this little thing that I made, and it was all over YouTube last year. And I did do a tutorial on it, and it's called Latest and Greatest Pokey Tools. And I use this for everything. So I'm going to use this, just kind of run down the side of this to pick out that clay before it gets all dried. Just very, you don't even have to mash, because this thing is very pointed, and I don't want to damage the mold because it's pretty soft and pliable. So I'm just going to come down through here and get some of these little pieces out, running it down there. If you don't get all of them, you can always go back and get the other ones. Okay, let's come down through here and here. Okay, that one, I'm not going to put these back in my bag because they're too little. They might dry out and make more of a problem. But I am going to take, while I'm here, all this other clay, mash it back up. I'm going to leave this one long so it doesn't get lots of pieces on it. and kind of put these back in there. So you're doing like a small little bell. If I decide to do that, some of these little pieces would be perfect for that. Now I'm going to stick this back in here. I don't want it to dry out on me. And put it in the bag. I'll be bringing it out in just a second. Okay, now what we're going to do is, this is very pliable, and it has always said in the tutorials I've seen and the ones that the sisters do, bend the mold so it can release. So you just pull this over, bend the mold, and look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, it's so pretty. Now, if there's a little pieces on there, you can clean that up, but I'm going to try to hold it up. It's still very fragile, so I don't want to break it. Can you see the detail that comes out with that mold? So cool. Okay, let me see now if my my books are dry on the side. This one is, I think, drying up, but I'm going to make sure. This is my little heat embossing tool, and I just turn that on and make sure this is good and dry. Then I'm going to lay my mold back. I'm going to lay my book here. And I'm going to lay this gently on top of it because I'm going to get all of these little pieces out of my way so it doesn't stick to my book. All right, let's just make sure we get most of these little crumbles off. And let's just put these in the trash can. There we go. Now, the next thing I'm going to use, and I'm not sure if I told you this, I would recommend a wood glue, a very good adhesive. Now, I didn't realize they make this in a clear, and when I purchased mine, it's yellow. So if it does squish out, it will show yellow. So that's one reason I went ahead, painted the book, because I will paint over it, because I wanted to paint over this yellow if it should squish out. So let's see. This is always hard for me to pull up. Don't have as much strength in my, hands as I used to. Little Arthur comes to visit me once in a while. Does he ever come visit you guys? Yeah? Okay. Now I'm going to just turn this up like so. Oh, be careful. And I'm going to lay this. This will go on the side. And this one, oh, it's going to be perfect. It must be shorter than what I thought it was. I probably measured it in the package and thought it went down longer, but this is fine. Now, as you see here, when you put that on there, this end doesn't have any of these little prongs sticking out, this little piece of decoration there. And this one does, in case you wanted to make it really long. This, where is it? There it is, would fit into this. Now, oh no. Oh no. Whew, that was close. I think what I'm going to do is, after I get it on my spine, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just cut these little things off, and then it will be the same. So I have to be careful. Oh, I think it cracked where I dropped it. Oh, I'm getting too excited. Okay, let's fold this up like this. Can you see that? Okay. And then, again, I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to lay it like this so I can get my glue on there. And I'll probably use my finger. You could use a little brush, but I have found when I use little brush, that brush is gone. I never can get all the glue out of it. So this comes out really fast, and it really sticks. I'm going to try not to get in the way here. If I get too much, I can wipe it off. Now, I suggest you even that out with your fingers. I'm gonna get my little wet rag handy because it will ooze out. So I'm just gonna rub this on, make sure I get the edges. And if it should ease out a little, I will be painting over and dry waxing over it too, so. Now let's see if we can keep moving it. I think I probably will have a crack in it where I let it fall off and I picked it up, it bent. But if it does, it does. I'm still gonna love it. A piece of clay, I don't want that. Oh, ooh! See there, glue got on there, but that's okay. We'll be painting over it. See some on the edges there. Just want to make sure I get it up to the edges so it won't come off. Come on now, let's get all the way over there. Oh, that's where it's cracking every time I sling it off of there. Okay. Well, I'm going to have a little more there. Oh. I'm determined to break this, ladies. I think I'm going to stop right there and whip it over and get it on the way we want it. See how straight we can get that. Pull this down a little because I'm going to be taking those off. Okay, about there to there, there to there. Wipe my fingers off. Isn't that pretty? And we get that all painted. Now, I'm going to go off after I get these on because these need to dry overnight before I put any paint on there. And if there's some little edges here I want to clean up, I'll take my X-Acto knife and just go around those. I do want to cut those little ends off there, so we'll have the same design. So I'm going to turn it this way. Take this out. And I'm just going to come over here. Put that off. And take this one off. And we're going to kind of bring this together. There. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And like I said, this does need to dry overnight before. Still got a little wet paint in there where we got the edges. See, this isn't sticking down as much. I need to hold that. Okay, I'm going to hold that a little bit. Take just a little bit off of here. And if, you know, this doesn't bother you, that being on there, you wouldn't even have to mess with it, because when you put the paint and everything else on there, it's going to cover that. Okay, here's a little one down here. Probably one of the most important things is trying to get it on here straight and even, and I'm not sure I did that with both sides, but like I said, this is my first one, and we'll just see how it turns out.
These thrifted spindles I got at the Habitat for Humanity. I marked kind of
Okay. That one I don't think I'm going to mess with. So, let that dry, and I'm going to go ahead and put the other two on, and then tomorrow we'll pick up where we left off. So I've got two of them painted and drying. So I'm going to show you just how I kind of did the inside on this last one and the back part. Now, one thing that will help, if you have an embossing tool to use kind of as a heat gun to dry it with, it will go a lot faster. So what I'm going to do is I went ahead and I painted the inside of this, and it's not going to matter too much if you get paint in here because nobody will see that because it will always be closed. So I'm going to just open this up and kind of hold on to it. Take my paintbrush and my paint and just kind of go over these edges. The only thing you want to really watch is that it doesn't get too thick and hang over the back side of what you're painting. And just kind of go down the edges there. Hold on to that a little bit. And like I said, this is such thick paint that it doesn't take very much. And we'll just kind of go over these edges. If you can see what I'm doing there. I have a tendency not to look at my camera to know if I'm in the view or not when I'm busy, you know, focusing on something. So let's make sure we're going to go over this edge that we don't have any of that kind of hanging over. We'll be putting another coat on all of it, except you don't have to put another coat on the one you're going to put in the middle because those two will not be showing, the back and the front cover. So we'll just want to make sure we get that on there. Okay, that looks good. Now this is already dry from when I painted it before. So I'm just going to lay this down, and it's okay if this gets on this because like we said, that doesn't show anyway. And I'm just going to take chalk paint and go over this cover again. And I kind of matched this color with this transfer I'm thinking about using. Of course, I could always change my mind, but I think it goes pretty well. This is kind of a off-white color in the background there. So far, the plan is staying the same. All right, let's get this covered down here. I'm doing this on a drop cloth, and I have found that painting on a drop cloth is so nice because you can just throw them in the washer, and if they're stained, it's no big deal, right? Okay, I got paint on these pages. I'm going to take my finger, just rub on that because I might use dark wax on the sides of the pages. We'll see. I don't know. All right, now we might need to go over this spine again. We'll just go over that. Make sure that's covered really well. You see that? Okay, down these little crevices, and you really want to let that dry really well. Get that another little swoosh on there, smooth that out. And I'm going to lay this over here to dry. And now we're going to make our IOD molds. Okay, we're going to lay this and put that on the right side. My paint doesn't stick. And I'm going to close up my paint. Set it out of the way. And I'm going to wipe off my hands. It won't all come off, but just so I get the wet stuff off. There we go. Now let's get our cornstarch, our little brush, and I'm going to get my molds and my clay. Now let's see, I need to get these open. And so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different molds. And I measured, the book is about 9.5, and these go, oh, pretty much up to 10, except maybe this one at the very bottom says, it doesn't say in inches. So anyway, I'm wanting, oh boy, this is hard. Should I make them all the same, or should I be crazy and do different ones? I don't know. I'm thinking I like this one for sure. I think that's got a lot of dimension in it, so when you dark brush it, dark wax it rather, you'll be able to see, you know, a lot of these details. I do like the leafy one. I kind of like this one. To me, this one, I don't want to start with that. It's got so many details that, you know, I'm not sure I want that one. I like this one too. I think I'll just do all 3 of them with this one this time. Okay, so first thing we do is, let's get, we'll take our clay out. And I've been keeping this sealed in this plastic bag, and hopefully we haven't dried out any. This is only one package that I have used. It feels pretty soft, but I've got another one over here in case I need it. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm going to take, I might use a popsicle stick. She used a popsicle stick, which looked like it might be, I've also got this little Cricut spatula thing to make it really smooth on top. That's a good idea, because I find myself just punching. And I don't want it to crack or come apart if I can help it. So I said this one, so I'm going to put cornstarch in that one. Just take some on a brush and kind of brush it in. And this lets it let go and release from the mold. Okay, make sure to get these little details on the side. And this does have, there's a name for it, I don't remember what they called it, but it has kind of a raised edge right here on the edge of the mold, so it is easier to get the excess clay off. So I'm going to take my clay, and I'm going to roll it into like a worm. I'm a retired, mostly kindergarten, so I love playing in all this stuff. We had lots of fun. So I'm going to take some of this. I'm going to see if I can roll it. I think the less pieces you use to put in there, the better. That way I'll have less chance of cracking. See here, I have tried to stick that together. We'll see how that goes. How long do I need this? A little bit longer. Keep rolling. Try to put the smooth side toward the bottom where it's not cracking. I want that to be together. My granddaughter, she got some, see, I don't like the way that looks. She got some air-dried clay. I don't know what brand it was, but anyway, she's been making some things, and I told her, you know, now you've got to keep the lid on it, because if it dries out, we're not going to buy any more unless you're responsible with this one. See, I don't like that either. Okay, I'm going to go with another piece over here that hasn't had any stuck back in there. I mean, if it cracks, it's fine. In fact, the lady who demonstrated this on the tutorial, hers cracked, and she said that was fine. So I just, you know, probably the more you can keep it from cracking, the better. But if it does, it's not the end of the world. It kind of adds to the character. So let's see if we can get this warmed out here. A little more. Just make sure I've got enough in there to mush it down. I think this will do. So then you just smash it down in there. And this goes nicely. And see, I won't even need all of this because my book is not quite this long. Now, the way you could start, take your thumb and just mash across, and that little ledge there is going to help you release some of that clay. Help you, you know, get that off. And you can also take a tool after you've done that and go back over that. I'm going to take this. I haven't tried this, but I'm going to try it and hope it doesn't. Oh, that works pretty good. Just kind of make that flat. I don't want to pull up too much, though. Because you would like to keep it the same. And that's going to be a crack there, I think. See, I'm learning too. This is new to me, but I just think it's so cool that I want to learn how to do it. And so, you know, if I make mistakes, then if you try it, you may know not to do that. Because I already think I made a mistake. I'm not sure if I like this little mash in there kind of thing. All right, let's put that down. Let's go back and go to my edges with my thumb. The way the sisters who developed these, they just use their fingers to mash it on. So let's give it that. Oh, I think I've kind of got maybe it over into this other mold. So there we go. I'm like, I don't remember leaves like that. Okay, this is working. Okay, I am going to work on this, and then when I get ready to pull it out, I'll be back.